Hello, Stonewall Sports Cleveland. Patty Hayes here, your board chair, checking in and giving you a little bit of an update of what's been going on. I wanted to let you know a little bit about what's been going on with the board, our most recent retreat, some of the information from that, as well as sort of to address the Sister Cities component mentioned earlier on Facebook. One of the key things of our retreat that we just had this past January was really looking at what the past 5 years has meant to us. It is our 5-year anniversary. And also looking at what do we want our 10-year anniversary to kind of look like? What do we want to be proud of? How do we want to own that? What do we want this organization to look like? And what does that starting point look like here in 2020? So currently the board is in the midst of a couple of things. One of which is, in fact, a full year 2020 calendar with tentative major dates to share out to members. That way you're in the know of some of those major dates and that we can update and edit along the way while also informing you of some of those key details. Another piece is that we are also outlining some internal committees and ad hoc task forces to deal with and manage some of these key starting points for 2020 to make us the most successful. What that means for you, Stonewall Sports Cleveland, is that we'll be looking for volunteers to join those same types of committees in some ways to be able to participate and engage in some elements that we'll need along the way. Based on those two key elements and looking at that calendar and looking at some of those needs, we're also looking at what expansion of other offerings might actually look like to us for growth. And really leaning on some of our other Stonewall cities and best practices of options of other sports. You've heard rumblings of a remix season, and us making sure that we have the best logistics and foundation in place to make that a successful program. So we are looking at those different pieces as well. And lastly, one piece that our board is really focusing on is this concept of transparency, both for our board, ourselves, and as well as the organization overall. The key thing about transparency, though, is it's about being honest, but it's also about sharing confirmed information and owning that along the way. And I think that we're going to try to do our best, and we're hoping for some patience along the way as we figure out what that means for us and means for elements of communication overall. So the most recent Sister Cities information. Cleveland obviously is hosting the national tournament in July. So with that, Stonewall Sports Columbus has offered to take on Sister Cities with Cleveland, Columbus, and Pittsburgh the last weekend of March 28th. At this time, that's literally the only information that we have. The thing is that there is a scheduled call tonight, the 7th, with members of our board, with Columbus and Pittsburgh, to update us of some of those details. In those same types of calls, we advocate for our community and connect with them in some ways. So as those details come in, we will absolutely share them based on that confirmation. Our board is working hard to answer those, so if you have specific questions or concerns, please directly reach out to us accordingly. There's one thing that I wanted to sort of ask and end with is really just this concept of being kind. I think we all love this community in so many different ways. This community has meant so much to each and every one of us. Sometimes our passions manifest themselves in ways that might actually be hurtful to others. So I ask this of you, just a moment to sort of reflect and an opportunity for us to be kind to each other when we were playing out there on the dodgeball court and high-fiving each other in the exchange, or being kind to our volunteer referees and umpires who are doing their best to call a fair game, or to be kind to my fellow board members who are in fact volunteering their personal time to make this experience as best as possible and adjusting along the way. And also just be kind to yourself. Making mistakes are okay. Learning from it and growing from it and owning it is another key piece. I think the one thing that came out of our retreat was that we are very, very proud as a city, especially when we compare ourselves to others, but we need to take care of ourselves in the process and take care of each other out there on the court or at the mixers or online, and be able to be kind and own that. I appreciate you and all that you guys do. I think that we're going to bring it in both the Sister Cities tournament as well as nationals. I hope to see many of you out there on Sunday, out on the dodgeball court, and out and about in the community. Thank you again. We'll connect soon, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.